We'll see what happens here. I see there's 4 people on. Oh, I'm getting some. Let's see. Can you all see me? Looks like you can. Nathan, thank you, brother. That really means a lot. The super chats and the super stickers and just Patreon and membership, man, it means so much to the channel. It truly does. But I'll tell you what, guys, I want to welcome everybody to the live stream. I hadn't done one in a month. In fact, that's why I decided to do it today instead of releasing a video. We had one of our better months in the last couple of years. We've been doing it now starts our second full year, in a matter of fact. I call it season 5 because we do every so many months and we change the seasons. But this is season 5, so we're going to be doing quite a bit of really cool stuff coming up. And Stuart says, yep. We got 4 watching now, and that's pretty good when we first start. And again, Nathan, thank you. Let's see, Tipsy Rider said, recently purchased the same bike and really appreciate all your videos on the Meteor. Been looking at these exact bags, so I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on them. I'll tell you right now, as far as I put them on really recently. In fact, the video for the install will come out Wednesday. The quality is incredible. And it fits the realm of what I'm planning on doing. I wanted to have something that was going to give me that a really good look. I want to make sure everybody knows that I'm a brand ambassador for Royal Enfield, and I want to make sure my equipment looks the best as I can possibly be. Well, when I started looking around, in fact, I've been offered quite a few free saddlebags and different things, and I just didn't think they looked right on the bike. And I found the long ride. And I'll tell you what, Graham, hey, brother, thank you. Haven't seen you in a while, but really appreciate you helping. I tell you what, Australia is one of our biggest markets for the channel, so that makes me happy to see everybody from Australia. And we even had quite a few from Sri Lanka, which is never knew. But we're going to really, there's Iron Lady up there. But just what I want to tell you that really a lot of thanks for all you guys. And, Nathan dropped us there a super chat, and that really means so much to the channel. But getting back to my point about the long ride, those guys, they're really easy to talk to. And I was talking to them through WhatsApp and just regular phone calls and things like that. And we were discussing about what I wanted in the as far as for saddlebags and what my possibilities for doing long tours. And that's what my goal has been. But the hang up has been nothing to carry stuff. I mean, I could have put a big duffel on the back, but to be honest with you, I didn't really want that to be. Again, I hate to say it's about the looks, but in reality, that's what it is. I want to make sure I'm putting a good face on for not only Royal Enfield, but for the channel as well too. Well, I started talking to them, and I said, hey, I've got this Givy or Givy, I don't know how you guys pronounce it, but this luggage rack on the back, and that kind of changes a little bit of things. And so we were talking back and forth, and they said, hey, we would like you to be our guinea pig. And so they sent all the equipment for the rack, and they literally just got the Meteor 350 stuff out. I was one of the first people to get that. I had to thanks, Nathan. I appreciate that. 15,000 subscribers. We're a small channel yet, but man, we're working hard. But we're a guinea pig for the long ride, as far as for having not only just the saddlebag stays and also the saddlebags themselves, but with what they call their sidekick. And this thing you're going to see in the video is pretty cool. It literally gives you the ability to snap the bags on, and then when you take them off, it's not this god-awful looking rack on the side. I just didn't like that. There's a bunch of them out there, really quality stuff. I just didn't like the way they looked. But the small little rack with the sidekick attachment is perfect. Let's see. Tic Tac Addict says put long ride bags in Himalayan. There they are, and the quality is amazing. When I got the bags and I wanted to put the sidekick, and I don't know, Tic Tac, or do you have the sidekicks on yours, or did you do yours with the? There's three ways to mount those, and you guys can check it out on their YouTube, or not YouTube channel. I guess it's their YouTube channel and also their website. But with the sidekick, it enables me to take them on and off, and that way I can actually use them as luggage too. And they're lockable, which is really cool. Now there's also a little tiny lock, or little place you can put a lock on to keep people from getting inside of the bags themselves, besides being able to take them off. And I bought some cheap little tiny suitcase locks for it, and it really looks kind of cool, and I'll show you that down the road as well too. But that was my big hang up, because I wanted to be able to take the bike on some long distance rides and have it look professional, and we've got that now, which means that we're going to be doing later this month, we're going to be riding down to the Appalachian Mountains in Virginia, West Virginia, and also into North Carolina. This Ventures of Bella, the Enfield, says, hey, I got the Lomo 30 large bags and some racks you got on eBay. Cool. And you know what? Lomo makes some really nice stuff. There's no question about it. Really waterproof, fantastic things. I decided on putting, for the Himalayan, I still have the Lomo stuff in case I want to use it for backup. But to be honest with you, I'm using the aluminum panniers, and I'm kind of glad I have those on there. I had a goof here the other day. I was riding back in the undisclosed location, and I was going through some high grass that didn't have any trail. It was kind of like a deer trail, but I was going through there, and high weeds, I should say, and found a stump. knocked off the passenger peg for Iron Lady. She wasn't on with me, but it's kind of funny, because the fact that I'm waiting on pegs now for the back. But we have some pretty exciting news about the upcoming tours for the Meteor 350, and some upcoming tours for the Royal Enfield Himalayan as well too. But the two for the Meteor that we're going to be talking about tonight, and and I'm going to take some questions on the different things too. I really want you guys to talk to me and ask me questions about the long ride stuff. One of the things about the Sidekick is that they want you to put the Sidekick system on yourself, and it's really cool, but yet makes your heart pound a little bit when you have to drill holes through this beautiful canvas to put this system on. And particularly one of the holes is a 3/4 of an inch around, so you can stick the locking mechanism through so you can get to it from the inside. And oh man. But we did it, and it looks beautiful. Again, watch the video on Wednesday, you'll see exactly how I did it. Graham says, I got a link from the company, old man, still looking at lugging options for Barry the Bee, the Yellow Fireball. I'll tell you what, if you order it straight from, and whatever system you decide to go with the long ride, if it says SK on the end, that's the Sidekick, and then of course they have the other ones. You can use the buttons, or you can use the straps. Tipsy Rider says, so for the long ride you got the Racer SK. Yes, I did. I got the Racer SK, which is SK stands for Sidekick. And that system just it fits me perfectly, because it's similar to what I'm used to riding the Road King and other motorcycles, and of course obviously the Royal Enfield Himalayan as well too, because I'm able to take those bags off or the panniers off and take them with me in case maybe I don't want to have them on that day. Which is probably not going to happen, but maybe I don't, and that way I can take them off. And let's say I'm packing on this long trip and I have a lot of stuff, because not only am I carrying my clothes and my air moto and water and possibly little snacks and food and first aid kit. There's a story there about the first aid kit you guys want to hear. Ask me later in the video, I'll tell you about it. But all that kind of stuff is really important for me to take on a long distance trip, some basic tools and things like that. So I'll have my rear duffel, either if I'm by myself, it'll be on the back seat, and you guys will see the picture of that in the upcoming video on Wednesday. But also you'll see, if Iron Lady's with me, we can put that tail bag, if you will, that rear duffel on the luggage rack, which gives us a lot of different opportunities. So, and Iron Lady and I travel a lot. We were out for a ride today. We just used the saddlebags, but like I said, it's the first time she's been on the bike since we had the saddlebags, other than sitting on and making sure that they fit. And one of the cool things about those saddlebags with the Sidekick is there's a little movement you can make back and forth, that way you can place them exactly where you want them. And then if you want it that way, there's a little stay that you can hook down into it to make sure that it stays exactly where you want it to be. Well, what are y'all drinking tonight? I'm actually having some red wine. One of my favorite places in California is a place called Livermore Valley, and this is a winery from them. It's a Wente. It's out of Livermore, California, the Livermore Valley. And to be honest with you, it's my favorite place in all of California. My son works in Napa. You guys know that. My sister lives well, she used to. She lives in Manhattan Beach, California. But we have a lot of family in the Pleasanton and those areas of California, and up in towards Napa and Sonoma and Santa Barbara County. But this is my favorite. This is my favorite, what do you call it, region of California. And I'm drinking a Cabernet Sauvignon, guys. And I'll tell you, we had a fantastic steak the other night, and I'm finishing up the bottle right now. Homer says he's drinking iced tea. What else is everybody drinking? Stuart's drinking Sunkist. I'm sure you are. Probably a little vodka in it, maybe. Huh? Maybe not. But we've got another trip that we've got planned, and I don't know if anybody can make it. I'm hoping you can. I know probably a few of you guys that are on here will be able to make it. But we are doing, Blaine just said water, hydrating, week's vacation, a day drinking. There you go. And he's drinking a cola. That's great. I see Adventures of Bella the Enfield made a told box from a 767 NATO Army box to teach. You know what? When I bought my Dyna, somebody had made the saddlebags out of ammo boxes, and there's nothing wrong with that, man. It's great. It's a great idea. If you want to have something that looks, I'll tell you what, that would probably look pretty cool on a classic 350 or even the 500 from years ago. But yeah, we're planning another trip for guys in the area, or I've had a few that wants to travel. We're calling it the Ronin Ride, and it'll be in August. Let me see the exact date here. Let me get my computer working, and I'll give you guys a date, and that way you can make some plans. Because before the event, we're going to have a Friday night. I'm actually taking a Friday night off from the food truck, and we're going to have a meetup. Different people. We're going to go to a local brewery in Newark, Ohio, and Newark or Granville, haven't decided yet, but I think it's probably be Granville. But we're going to have basically a motorcycle meetup, and guys are going to come in. We're going to have some drinks and have a good time. People that want to go on the ride will go with us down to Augusta, Kentucky, with the next day. We'll be on Saturday, and it's about 6.5 hours down there, but it's going to be limited to motorcycles under 500 cc's. Let's see, it does look good on the Meteor 350. Yes, it does. I'm telling you what, are you talking about the ammo box? That's probably cool. Yeah, that would look good on it too. But that ride is going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have the opportunity to stay overnight. Obviously, those are going to be on your own. It's not going to cost anything unless I get enough attention of the people that say they're coming, that they want to, if they want to get T-shirts made for the first, we're going to call it the first annual Ronin Ride. And like I say, we're going to have a meetup on the Friday night, and then we're going to leave Saturday morning, go down. And the cool thing about this area, Augusta, Kentucky, is it's got the oldest winery in America there, and it's also got distilleries, so there'll be some day drinking going on the next day, and also there's some breweries as well too, plus some great restaurants. And to get to it from the Ohio side, you have to take a ferry across, and I know that's pretty cool. No, Stuart, we're not going to let any Harleys in this particular ride, because everybody has a Harley ride. And hey, Richard, thank you. Happy 4th of July as well too. But everybody has a Harley ride. This is going to be a small bike ride. I'll be leading the pack on the Meteor 350, and we're going to be riding down there through all back roads to get to Augusta. And I encourage you guys to go online and check out Augusta, Kentucky, and how pretty this little town is. And it's full of a lot of exciting things. And I think it'll be kind of fun. Now, you have the opportunity to stay overnight, because what we're going to do is we're going to ride down there and probably have a late lunch, and then people can just do whatever they want to afterwards, and then either stay the night or head back home. And then if you want to stay the night, which, like I say, all the hotels are going to be on your own, is either in Maysville, Kentucky, or Ripley, Ohio, would be the places you'd stay. Or you can stay there in Augusta, but it's kind of expensive, so I'll probably stay in Maysville, if you know what I'm talking about. But because I'm a cheapo. August when? It's August 26th to the 28th. The meetup is on Friday the 26th, and the 27th is when the ride starts. Like I say, if you don't want to come in for the Friday, that's fine too. Come in, on the 27th. We'll leave probably about 9 o'clock in the morning, kickstands up, and then ride down to Augusta, and it'll just be such a fun time. And like I said, I want to do this every year, is have, well, we're going to do something else too later in the year. I'll tell you about here in a second. But it's going to be mostly a small engined ride, just because nobody else is doing one of those. And I think that's kind of fun, or at least around here. The other thing I got planned is in October, or maybe, no, it's September, excuse me. In September, we're having a Ronin retreat, and that's going to be an ADV bike only retreat. And what we're going to do is, it's September 23rd through the 25th. I've got a pretty cool little place set up that we can go to. You to be put in forth. You have to translate that for me, Richard. I don't know what you mean. But unless you're just saying happy for the 4th, I'm happy 4th of July, guys. But the October Ronin retreat, the Oktoberfest, is going to be, we'll have cabins. We're not going to do a tent thing. We're going to do cabins, and it's going to be pretty cool. And this place is really neat. It offers some fishing if you want to do some fishing. There's 5 different lakes that you can use, so it's pretty cool. And so I think we're going to do that. And like I said, not all the Ronin retreats are going to be at camps. Some of them will be at campgrounds and campsites. Some of them are going to be at, like, this place is like a rustic resort, where there's different cabins. And as we go, I'll be putting more information not only on Instagram, but also my Facebook page, the Fans of Old Man Ronin, and also the YouTube channel too. We'll talk a little bit more about it as it goes on. But this is the first time I'm announcing on the live stream about the Ronin ride and the Ronin retreat, and of course my trip to Appalachia here coming this month. But I wanted to give everybody at least 2 months, and we've got, well, it'll be just under 2 months for the Ronin ride, and I want to make sure everybody's prepared for that. Just get here to Newark, Ohio, and we're good to go, man. That's the closest town to me that's got hotels for people that need to do that. There are some campgrounds around here as well too. In fact, there's one not too far from the house that you can stay at. Well, that's for a trailer, not for tent camping. But there's a place in Granville, and like I said, if you're interested in that stuff, email me. I will give you all the information you need. It's going to be one of those type of things. We're not going to put a limit on the number, because the first one probably is not going to have a lot of people. I understand that. And there's a lot of people that need to plan farther out. But I wanted to make sure we had everything in order before we decided to do that. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about my first trip, my long distance trip. It's about 700 miles to where I'm going to go. And so that'll be the longest one-way trip that I've taken on the Meteor so far. Iron Lady and I've done a weekend of about 400 or 500 miles, but that was just a weekend thing. It wasn't, we were getting off a lot. This is an actual trip where I'll be carrying all my luggage and everything else. Dinner. Catch the less rate. All right, Stuart, you take care, man. Thanks for joining. We really appreciate it. Cheers. And again, guys, let us know what you're drinking. But and if you have any questions about the upgrades that I'm making to the Meteor, I'm actually got some. It's more or less for Iron Lady. I've got some of the wide, I call them mini floorboards for the back. I'm actually going to buy, I haven't decided yet, and maybe some of you guys out there know, do any of you I'm not normally a windshield kind of guy, but I may order either a windshield or a fly screen for the Meteor just to see how it works on a longer distance trip, and compared to what I've been riding yet. I haven't decided yet. Again, I got to pay for all this stuff, and guys like Nathan helping us out with the live stream money there, the super chat, that really means a lot. But what I want to get at is, we're going to try to make this a true ultralight touring bike that we can actually go cross country if we want to. And there's a possibility of that next year, that we'll take the motorcycle out to California. And that's where this is kind of be some of our little trips that we got scheduled this year is kind of like a test to see how it's going to be. We also are planning on obviously doing later in the year as well too, say October wise, we're going to take the Himalayan and do the Mid-Atlantic BDR, which will be a lot of fun as well too. Well, we've lost a few people, unfortunately. I hope you're not getting bored with what I'm saying, but drink some more and you won't. Well, if you have any questions, other than the fact that the other thing I'm going before, or putting on the motorcycle before the trip is, if you guys have watched some of the videos, you know that the bike that I have is a former press bike, and it's been dropped a couple times by some of the press writers and some of the influencers. And so what we're going to do is I've got some things I need to replace, like a turn signal, and just to make it look more professional. See, Tipsy says just purchased a tinted fly screen for my Supernova. It adds a nice aesthetic. Does it work? That's what I'm asking. I mean, I don't really care too much about it. The buffeting is what people call it, but I'm just curious. Can you notice a difference? That's a great question for you, Tipsy. And Bella, the infield, says, I'm planning on a trip to Lake District here in England in a couple weeks' time. How far is that, Bella, the infield? And Graham says, got to go, guys and girls. Looking forward to Wednesday video. Okay, Graham, thank you, and appreciate you stopping by. But as far as another addition to it, I'm putting the Powertronics Fuel X Pro on it here some probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I was going to do the Himalayan first, but I'm going to do a complete stage 1 on the Himalayan. And the problem is I haven't got my muffler or my silencer yet, and I'm waiting for that. If I had that with it, we'd be having a video on it already, because I really want to upgrade that Himalayan to see if I can get some better fuel economy out of it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it 243 miles from my place. Okay, that's cool. So 243 miles. I mean, that's a heck of a good haul. And now, did you have the fly screen on at that time? And if it did, or you're planning on a trip? That's right. Now I'm sorry, but that way you can tell the difference. Have you noticed the difference yet? That's what I'm asking. So we got 15 watching. Thanks, guys. Cheers. You have any other questions about the channel even? We're here to answer pretty much all. If you guys are noticing in my Instagram, and how many of you, and sign off, not sign off, but sign out there, tell me exactly how many are a member of my Instagram page. I'd like to hear if you are or you're not. If you're not, just say no, not yet, or hey, yes, I am, because we've been doing a lot of other bike riding on the channel as well too. In fact, right now I've got a Kawasaki Versys 1000 SE in the garage that I'm riding this week, and it talk about a fast bike. And if you've seen on my Instagram, you'll see that I had it up to miles an hour. Blaine says he's a member, and that's great. Tipsy says, don't have enough time on the comment on anything definite since it went on yesterday. I got you. Yeah, first ride today felt good. Be happy to ride. Yeah, I'm curious because I haven't decided between, because the full windshield is not illegal here in the United States because of something to do with DOT approval, but the fly screen is. So I have to buy it. If I buy it, it's got to be from India and have it shipped in. So I haven't decided on what I want to do yet. I like the way it looks when it's on. It looks like a mini Road King when you do that, to be honest with you, and I think it's kind of cool. Let's see. Stuart's gone, and I know Graham's gone. Richard, could you describe what you meant? You to be put in fourth. I don't know really what you mean by that, but are you a member of Instagram? Like I said, we want to know if you guys are a follower, I should say, because Instagram is where you get the freshest news. That and the fans of Old Man Ronin. I usually put the stuff in. Like today, the other day, I shot some footage on the Himalayan on the gravel road doing 40, 45 miles an hour, trying out those 700 series tires, and it's fantastic. Momo Ryder says, hello, Ryan. They follow. That's fantastic, Momo. Appreciate it. Meeker says, oh, I have a tinted fly screen on my Supernova Brown. How do you like it, Meeker? That's something I've been trying to figure out because I haven't really decided yet. Tipsy said, I ordered mine from the U.S. and RE dealer in Albany, New York. They shipped it out to me out of state. Have you, let's see. Graham says, I have the fly screen on. Barney, it helps move the wind off your chest. That's cool. Hey, there's Shade Tree Surgeon, brother. Thank you and welcome. This is the first time I think I've seen you on one of our live streams, and I really appreciate you, brother. We really get a kick out of Josh down there in Florida, and I've been dying. We met. I don't know if you remember this. We met at the AIM show in Columbus. So I don't know how many years ago, but that was really cool. Maybe 3-4 years ago now. I forget, but we had it was great meeting you, and I've been dying to get down to visit you. I have to work so damn much. Bills. Let's see. Adventures Bella says, yes, just raise up the fly screen about an inch off the top of the headlight, stops the wind hitting you in your. I got you, man. Let's see. Adventures of Bella says, hi, Shade Tree. And Blaine says, what, Josh? Josh is, if you don't know, is Shade Tree Surgeon. So he's a good old boy, man. I wish I had his personality because he's just a character and a half. He's fun to watch, and we try to watch as many premieres as we possibly can. Him and Shay Lacey, but I don't get an opportunity to see a lot of them. But when I do get to him, I really do appreciate him. Let's see, but I do watch his videos. We watched the one today. It was pretty interesting, to say the least. Mika says, I think it's a great difference for me. I am a short 5'6", and I felt like not wearing a seatbelt or backpack, missing something like. And, oh, Blaine says he knows. Okay, well, I wasn't sure, Blaine. I wanted to make sure that I was in the proper frame of mind, if you will, because I just started drinking. I should have been drinking all day. We went over to Granville today, took the Meteor out and went outlaw. Shorts, t-shirt, no helmet, exact opposite everybody rides. But we went out there and trying to go, we were going to get some beer and maybe some quick lunch and stuff like that. But man, they had a fair down there. It's like, kids, I got to get out of that. I always have this saying, and I'm going to ask anybody online here, what's the best thing about children? Because I don't fucking know. Just kidding. You only got 4 of them. But I just want to ask everybody what you're drinking out there, and if you're enjoying the video so far. Like I said, we're talking Adventures of Bella the Enfield Yo. So apparently he's got some fans on there as well too. That's fantastic. Eating them, I agree. Yeah, that's the best thing, I suppose. But yeah, I have another saying too. I'm completely pro-choice. I think abortion should be legal to the age of 17. I know. It's bad. I'm going to go to hell, no doubt about it. But any other questions or any other comments, make sure if you're not following Josh, Shade Tree Surgeon, get out there and follow his channel. He's just, like I say, between him and Her Two Wheels, those are the 2 primary people that got me interested in doing a YouTube channel. I seen these guys, and I thought, man, they're having so much freaking fun. And unfortunately, I live in a place where there's not a lot of people, and when you go into town, you can find them. But and we're new to this area, so damn, brother, Meteor Rising. Thank you, Josh. I really do appreciate it, brother. You are the best, without a question. It means so much to me to have the kind of support that I get from not only fellow YouTubers, but the general public as well too. We really do appreciate each and everything that you guys do. That just makes me so happy. Josh, I do value you. You're a great guy. And man, I'm coming to Florida this winter for sure. We haven't decided if we're going to. Right now, I've got a trailer, and I say I got a trailer because I bought it. When we were moving into this house, I didn't have a garage. I had to build this garage, and you guys seen up there, it's 60 by 25, and we've got 60 by 20 and 25 foot of shop space, and then we've got 40 three stall garage, and that's where we keep all the motorcycles, our big pickup truck and stuff like that. But I bought this cargo trailer for next to nothing that I put all the motorcycles in until we had an opportunity to get the garage built, because it took, it was right before COVID, so it took, probably five or 6 weeks to get it up. I mean, we had an Amish made, so usually they're quick, but this took a long time, I guess. But long story short, I used the trailer to keep the bikes in, and now it's just got all of our shop stuff in it and the things that I haven't put in the shop yet. And I'm thinking like, damn, I need to use that maybe, because to be honest with you, I think it'd be kind of cool to take a trip in it, but I love riding cross country on motorcycles, but I also like to be able to take a couple motorcycles. In other words, let's say I want to go to back out to California. Well, I'd like to have my Sportster 1250. I'd like to have the Meteor, and I'd like to have the Himalayan. So I can't ride them all 3 at once. So that's why I kept the trailer instead of selling it. Maybe I should sell it. I don't know. But long story short, we are going to come to Florida to see you, Josh. It's going to be either in December or January or February. And I'll keep you posted, brother, because we need to ride together. I told you next time you come up into Ohio that we got plenty of bikes for you to ride, brother. You don't have to bring one if you don't want to. Like if you come into the Ames show in Columbus, you're more than welcome to borrow one and keep it for a week whenever you want to. That's just who I am. I mean, ain't like I got one. But like I said, and I do want to take a trip down to Florida someday on that little Meteor too. Well, my plan is, guys, is I'm planning on working another year and then retiring, because I've been doing this cooking stuff for so long that I kind of want to get away from it and just do YouTube. Not that it's going to pay me any money. It's the, you know, the YouTube is, you don't make a lot of money doing it, but unless you get super support like I've got from Josh here at Shade Tree and also from Nathan, that really does mean a whole lot to us. But what I'm getting at is I'm able to do enough to make barely minimum, and hopefully at that time I'll have some Social Security money that I'll be, I know I'm old man Ronin here, but I'll be able to have a little bit of income so I can start doing some more and bigger videos and maybe growing the channel even more, because that's the whole idea. We want to get at least to 50,000 subscribers in the next year or two. That's what my plan is, or that's my, shouldn't say my plan. Plans never come true. That's what my hope is. Like I said, we hit 15,000. Well, I'll tell you what. This last month we hit. We got normally we get about 400 to 600 subscribers a month, and we hit almost 1,000 subscribers this month, and it made me really happy. And so, and we're growing. I think we averaged what we got now. I don't even know. Just under 15,300. Excuse me. Tipsy Rider, as I just did alcohol burp. So hey, how do you, now that you have a bit more time with the integrated app and navigation, have you found that it automatically reroutes you to get off course? As far as you're talking about the tripper, now the Google Maps, and I have not had any success with that. I do have a Garmin that I use for that kind of thing. As far as but I'll tell you what works better for me. But it doesn't work with the tripper, is the Waze, because it'll bring you back, and you can actually design a nice route with that, except it doesn't work with the tripper. So I just don't know enough about Google Maps. That's my problem. I didn't grow up with computers, guys. I grew up with a kitchen knife and a pitchfork. Yeah, I'm a freaking hillbilly, bro. Farm boy. That's what I've been doing. And he says I've only got 44. You know what? It's not about that. It takes time. I mean, I know I've got my timeline listed, and when I got my first 100 subscribers, I was like hog heaven, man. I just really enjoyed it. It made me so much happier. Bella says offline maps, Google. And I've done that before, but it just didn't bring me back to the routes I wanted, because sometimes I see something. Oh, I got to go there. I get those squirrel moments. Tipsy says, yeah, I hear that from the U.S. version of Trippers, about 6 versions back from the one in India and Europe. I hope they update it. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I do use it occasionally, but basically I use it because I got a quad lock coming for the Meteor. I don't have one on it right now, and I don't have a way to put my phone. So if I'm using it for navigation, I use the tripper for that. Just keep before I had the saddlebags, I keep it in my pocket, and now I'll be able to put it in the saddlebag until I get the quad lock. Now I got my quad lock is on my Road King, and that's the bike we normally take on really long trips, and that thing's got 117,000 miles on it, so it's been all over the place. And we haven't had it that long, but when I got it, it had like 8,000 miles on it. So that tells you how much we've ridden that Road King. Iron Lady loves riding that, and in fact, she doesn't like me riding without it. Now she'll probably get on here and yell at me for saying that, but it's kind of our bike, and we ride it together more than anything else. It's just. Man, it's a lounge chair on wheels. And I know. I rode a Goldwing the other day, and I have to admit, those things are frickin' comfortable. In fact, if it wouldn't be for my driveway is so big, I was going to bring one home and test it for a week, because I got to tie in with a Honda dealer as well too. And I said, man, my driveway, I don't know. It's one thing about your own bike, but that thing is. That and gravel, and anytime we get some rain, it just piles up that loose gravel in places. And I've dumped the Road King on that thing last year, and I was yelling for Iron Lady, hey, help dig me out, because my leg was trapped under the bike and I had to dig out before I could raise it back up and get back on. And then we went for a ride afterwards, and it's like, well, that's what it is. I mean, bike's 20 some years old, it's gonna fall. I mean, guys, I don't care how good a rider you are and how long you've been riding, you're gonna drop your frickin' bike. That's exactly what's gonna happen. But that's the reason why I didn't bring the Goldwing home this week. But I did bring the Versus 1000 SE, and man, that thing is scoots, brother. It's got that Ninja engine in it, and it just goes. I put that little thing on Facebook today or yesterday about me going around that car. And I was in sixth gear, and I wanted to see what kind of speed and torque it had. So I was in sixth gear, about 2,500 RPM, and just went pop, and she went, shoo, and I was doing miles an hour right away. And anytime I was over 80, I say, because I don't like to tell people how fast I was going. You never know. Gravel rash. Yeah. Yeah, that's. I mean, luckily, the gravel was really loose, so it gave, and it didn't scratch me up too bad. Plus, I did have long pants on that day, just a t-shirt, but that's the way I usually ride. Like I said, I spent, God, almost 50 years riding without helmets. Unless I had to go out of state. At Pennsylvania, you have to wear the license or have to have a helmet. So, but I mean, all this helmet and gear stuff is new to this boy. I just haven't never used it. We don't have to here, and we didn't. And again, I come out of the Harley culture, guys, and sometimes I'm not saying I'm trying to temper myself. That's not what it's about. But I have to admit this: riding these little bikes, these little 350s and 411s, and even the 500s and even the 650s, I'd consider a smaller bike compared to what I'm used to. It really, really, really brings me back. Let's see. Richard says, subscribe today. Well, that's good, Richard. You can promote anybody you want to, brother. We're not that kind of people. So throw her out there, and we'll have to go and make sure that you do subscribe to Bella the Enfield. You'll love this channel. That's great. And again, cheers. But what I was getting at is, we love these small bikes because it kind of brings the fun of riding back. And me getting the opportunity. You say you have to ride gear all the time. Is there like a law over there? I mean, I take it for granted you're in the UK, correct? Is there a law that you have to wear jackets and stuff like that? I figure the helmet. I mean, that's a lot of states are like that, so that's not a big deal. But as far as the all the clothes and stuff, you have. Wow, that wouldn't last here at all. We got too many Harley guys with knives and guns, brother. They ain't gonna put up with that shit. But the small bikes have really given me an opportunity to go back in time. Even though my first street bike was a 1,000cc Harley, I have had other little bikes in between. But the smallest one I had before was a 550 Suzuki. Everything else was above 550. And that little 350 is just a freaking blast, man. And like I said, the technology it has today, like Iron Lady, we were scooting around some of the back roads heading back home. And, we did miss using the helmet communication. I guess it's kind of like missing your computer, your internet when it's down, because I kept turning around talking to her. And of course, when I talk, I was spitting all over her. She's gone like, I miss my helmet. But, when we first got together, that's the way we were riding before she got her license. I mean, we were just riding together all the time, and we never called it outlaw. That was just riding. Now we call it outlaw because I try to be a little bit more PC, if you will. And now I've always used gloves because my hands sweat so damn much. So I want to have a good grip on the bars and stuff when I actually hold on to the bars. So you guys watch the channel, I constantly put my hands off and just watch what happens. We were on I don't know if you can see it on the video that'll be coming up for the next. I got so many bikes that I've been riding. It's hard to say when it'll come out, but that Versus, I was riding it down the road, and that thing is so maneuverable that I was literally being able to go back into my old days and just steer with my butt. And that was a lot of fun. I mean, I was going through some curvy roads and stuff like that and just riding with no hands on the bars just to see what happened. And yeah, it was fun. Gloves, jacket, kind of a law here, but crash hats law. Oh, kind of a law. Okay, yeah. Well, kind of a law is one thing. And, making you do it's another. Like I said, it really wouldn't fly too much here in the U.S. Like I said, we got our culture is, I mean, I hate to say Sons of Anarchy because that's bullcrap. I never did like that show. I thought it showed 1% gangs in the wrong light. I know a lot of guys in clubs, and I don't like call them gangs, but it did show like the bad side of and again, there's bad people everywhere, but clubs they're great people. I was a member of a firefighter club years ago, and it's we're bad people because we ride together and have a patch. Anyways, Mika says, do you hold on to handlebars with your butt? It's not about hold on with your butt. You steer with the weight. it's I mean, that weight transmission is the entire thing, except for, you know, when you're using your bars to push down to get the bike to lean. But as far as moving across the road, you can literally steer you just moving your cheeks back and forth. Just moving your cheeks back and forth, man. Oh, okay. If you didn't, you never know. I mean, it is the internet, and there's a lot of people that are new bikers and new riders and stuff, and we try to take for granted that we're not that we know everything, because there's no way you can ever know anything. And I'm the last person to ever claim to be an expert, because I'm the only thing in the expert. The only thing I'm an expert in is knowing I'm not an expert. I just do shit, and I have a good time doing it. You know, I love to cook, and I love to ride motorcycles. And to be honest with you, I've been riding motorcycles longer than I've been cooking, and I've been cooking since I was 11. And I've done a lot of other stuff as well too. I mean, everybody has a life, and this one's been full, and I really enjoy it. And I want to have a bunch more years that I keep doing it. And it's another thing I love about these smaller bikes as well too, because man, I'm having such a blast. And they're so light, and they're so forgiving, and they're so fun. And you know, you kind of get a pucker moment when you're riding the big Road King about 40 miles an hour, and all of a sudden you know they throw a sign saying loose gravel, and it goes for 12 miles, and you kind of go, better slow down a little bit, because these tires suck in the gravel. It's not that you can't do it. I've done it for years, but it's just that it's more fun when you've got you know, tires that are made for that kind of thing. Blaine says, plus they look good. I'm hoping you're not saying about my butt wiggling. Blaine, I'm worried about you. But man, I'll tell you what, how long we've been on, guys? Let's see, 40 minutes. Time goes fast. See, Bella says, 42 years of riding motorcycles. I had so much. You know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's been one constant in my life, and it's been motorcycles more than anything else. You know, relationships come and go, and they okay. Thank you, Blaine. Had me worried there for a minute. But you know, relationships come and go. Unfortunately, it's just there. You know, people come and go out of your life. The only constant I've ever had is a motorcycle. I literally have always had one, and I usually have a few. 2013 to 2017 was a rough time for me, but we had some issues, and we had to get rid of a couple motorcycles and stuff like that before we moved down here. But once we got here and got in position to have what we needed to do, and we started rebuilding them again. I didn't have the channel back then, unfortunately. I wish I would have, because my favorite build that I've ever done has been the 1200 Sportster. That thing is just a blast, and man, that thing just rips. It's not as fast as that 1000cc motorcycle I was on yesterday. That Versus, man, that thing is super fast. But we've got quite a few other motorcycles down the road that we're going to be riding. I've got a Honda dealer, a Kawasaki dealer, Yamaha, Royal Enfield, CF Moto, Suzuki. We can pretty much ride whatever we want. I'm trying to get into some Moto Guzzi's and some BMWs and a few other lines too, just to get some experience on showing you guys what these other motorcycles could do. Because, you know, there's not a perfect motorcycle. It's the one that's perfect for you. And I don't care what you ride, as long as you're frickin' riding. You know, I don't really hear it too much in the rest of the country, but in Ohio we call people in cars cagers. Does anybody else, and put it down in the comments here, the chat here, do you guys call car riders cagers? I know we call them assholes too, but they're mostly cagers, and we don't really like cagers. Because they don't pay attention. They're always on their phone, and they're trying to run you over because they don't know any better. They're like God, I can't even see the term. They're like the mentally undeveloped children of the world. They don't pay attention. First bike was an Indian dirt bike. Largest was a KZ 1100 set shaft. Many in between. Now thumping a Meteor. How old are you, Meeker? If you don't mind me asking, I don't want to pry, but what I've noticed is a lot of guys that are in my age group that are going and coming out of bigger bikes and going into these small bikes, because they're two purposes is what I've been told. They're easier to handle, particularly if you're over 70. Thank God I'm not yet, but if you're over 70. And the second thing is they bring the fun of riding back. Meeker's 57, so you got some catching up to do, bro. But I mean, that's what it's all about. Just having a good time on the motorcycle. And that thing is, unless you've ridden one, you don't really know what we're talking about. You know, I like to take it up through and I always tell people on these smaller bikes, especially Royal Enfield, whether it's the Classic or the Meteor, you got to run them through their rev range. If you get on there and you're a quick shifter, you're going to think the thing's a dog. But if you run its rev range, you're going to have a blast. See, Tipsy says, you have any plans to throw a leg over at INT? Dude, oh, you haven't seen it yet. Spoiler alert. I've ridden before 2 weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago now. Yeah, that's how far behind I'm on videos. Except for tomorrow, I literally put the bags on here real recently, and I want to get that video up and running because it coincides with all this other stuff that I'm doing down the road here. But yeah, Tipsy, we had both the Continental GT, and then I rode the W800, and you saw. You haven't seen the W800 take back, but when I took the W800 back, I picked up an INT 650. And we've done several videos on that already. They're just waiting to be edited. And then we've got one saying the W800 versus the INT 650. And we'll just leave it right there at that. But yeah, I love that bike, man. I just love the 650s. They do everything you ask them to do, and they do it inexpensively. And that's what I'm about. I like to show value for money, or value of money. And I'll give you a little spoiler. The W800 is a fantastic motorcycle. I think it's the prettiest parallel twin on the market, bar none. I don't like water-cooled engines looks. That CF Moto is water-cooled. The Versus is water-cooled. There's been a couple other ones I've ridden that have been water-cooled. And I just don't like, it's all about the design of the plastic that surrounds the engine. And that's really what it is now. And I hate that, man. I'm a retro guy, or I like air-cooled engines. But the reality of it is, that's not what the future lies. I was getting a kick out of this new Sportster Nightster that they've got, that the Harley introduced. And they got up top is the air box and the gas tanks under the seat. And I said, well, it's a V-Rod revisited. And that's basically what it is. Let's see. So Bella says, I have to go, keep riding. Cheers and thank you and welcome, Bella. We really appreciate you. Which would I take on a long trip? Of the three that you mentioned right there, the Meteor. And the reason why is the rider triangle. The rider triangle is superior in the Meteor. It's a lot more comfortable for a long ride. It's a cruiser style. Now, if they threw in a 650 Meteor, that may change. But right now, with those questions you asked me right now, I love the INT. It's very comfortable in a standard. It's a British standard. The Conti is one of the funnest bikes I've been on in a long time. It is a blast to ride. But the Meteor is the most comfortable by far. Not even in the running. It's not even a choice. The thing is just super. And I'm over 6 foot tall. I used to be a solid 6'2.5", and I probably shrunk down to just under 6'2" now. It's because, old age and shit. But guys, cheers. Tell me what you're drinking there. Meeker says that makes me happy. Well, and it should, because it's a fantastic motorcycle. Now, I don't know, Blaney, you still on here? What's your longest ride? Because he's got a Meteor 350 too. Maybe you can put it in the chat there and tell Meeker. And see, Tipsy writes, that makes me so happy since that's the one I decided to buy with way less experience than you. Blaine says yes. Okay. Describe to him what you think, coming from Harley Davidson's yourself too, about being comfortable. As far as I'd like to see him, you give him a little bit of verification of what I'm trying to say as well too, because I think we come from similar backgrounds, coming out of Harleys and big bikes and going on these little tiny bikes. They're just so much freaking fun, man. They just again, I always say miles of smiles, because it makes you smile every time you're on one. The Himalayan is what started it for me, and I was going, man, I haven't had this much fun on a motorcycle for freaking 30 years. And it just makes me so happy to ride those motorcycles. Plus the fact I can take it anywhere I want to go. And that really makes a big difference. Now, what's more comfortable, the Himalayan or the Meteor? Meteor. That cruiser style is just awesome. The only thing that would make it even more comfortable is if the forward control, because I call them mid-forwards, if they're a little bit farther forward for my height. If you're not very tall, and I'm sure, I'm not going to say yay or nay or whatever, but if you're not very tall, Blaine says longest 74 miles, much more comfy, 61 years old. Last bike was a Super Glide. Right, there you go. That basically tells you in a nutshell. He went from a Super Glide to a Meteor 350, but his longest ride is 74 miles, and that's cool, man. I mean, you got to start. You haven't had it that long, only a couple months, right? I think that's correct. But they are just so much fun, and they, you know, like I said, when I got the opportunity to ride that Meteor, when they brought it to me, what was it, September? Well, it was Labor Day last year. They delivered the bike and said, "Here, keep it for a long-term review," and then we decided we had to have it. It made me, I mean, and I could easily just get, nah, I don't want the bike around, you know, take it back, you know. I wanted that motorcycle because it is such a fun bike. Plus, it gave me so many ideas. You know, it just makes 2 months, he says, ride to work mostly. Question: 350 Classic or INT 650? Two different bikes, and I mean that by all the let's see, my fingers are at play. Looks Classic. Everything else 650. But I love the Classic. I mean, it's a great engine. I mean, that J Series engine is freaking awesome. Probably the best single-cylinder engine probably ever built. Fight me over it. No, it really is. It's great. It's a fantastic. Oh, and by the way, welcome, Doug. I just noticed your first comment. And again, we're talking purely on looks. The Classic 350 is one of the prettiest bikes out there. It is the essence of retro cool, and I really do like the way it looks. I wish I had one. I just, you know, it's one of those type of things. You can only afford so much stuff. And to be honest with you, I'm looking. My next bike that I would like to buy, I really would, is I'd like to find an old Bullet, and I would like to rebuild it. And I don't know. Meeker said, I sold on the Hemi until I watched your vids on the Meteor. Rode both. Thumper is in the garage. Wednesday's going to be 200 miles round trip to New Braunfels. Well, that's pretty cool, man. Like I said, I'm glad you bought the Meteor, and I hope that was really we were really a determining factor. But I love the Hemi too. I mean, like I said, the Himalayan's what really introduced me, or I should say, reintroduced me to Royal Enfield. I rode one back years and years and years ago, and there wasn't any dealer support. I mean, it just was what it was. Kids are grown and married. Frank, okay, welcome, Frank. Bought a Meteor first week in June to get back in the wind. Congratulations, Frank. We're glad to have you. Scooter says, I keep oscillating between the Meteor and Classic 350 in black for the long road cruises. Well, the Meteor will be more comfortable on the long road cruises just because of the triangle. Tipsy says, one more for you. Not sure whose foot they used to design the front shift peg for me, but it's impossible. Now, you're talking about the Meteor, or you're talking about the Classic? Thankfully, oh, okay, you're talking about the Meteor, the heel. Yeah, I grew up on heel toe shifters, so it's natural for me. In fact, I would much rather have a heel toe than I would just a toe shifter. But you're right. It's kind of funny because when I went down for the Classic reveal, I hadn't flown since COVID, and I was thinking, God, what am I going to do? I don't want to carry a lot of stuff. What am I going to do? Well, I'm just going to wear my cowboy boots. Big freaking mistake, because your cowboy boots aren't as flexible as what I ride with, like, I don't want to say hiking boots. They're kind of like they're military grade boots that they're comfortable, good airflow, yada yada yada. So I normally wear those, and I've got the black toe print to prove it. And I've got a little bit more ankle articulation, and I'm able to get my foot even in small places like underneath the Classic 350 or the front toe shifter of the Meteor. It needs to be longer for me. I got big feet. I don't know. If you can adjust it up, and that might help you a little bit. But if you got big feet like me, it's too short. Scooter says 68, nothing more comfortable anymore, just different degrees of ugh. Sorry, man. That's what they make. What's that stuff that they advertise on the radio all the time about? Stuff to take the pain away. I just double up on whiskey when you get home. Let's see, Scooter. Blaine says heel toe shifter I prefer. Again, all day long. Road King has it. Softail has it. Dyna has it. I just love them. That's the best way to be. I love a heel toe shifter because you just push down with your toe, push down with your heel. Easy peasy, man. And that's what it's all about for me. Easy peasy. Blaine says, plus, Roni, you have big floorboards. Yeah, I do. On my Meteor, I have the wide, I call them mini floorboards, or the wide pegs, and it make it even harder to get your toe up under there. But I love the mini floorboards on that, and try that maybe, Tipsy. I don't know. Like I said, and that way you can even kick easier with your heel. Mine are narrow. Let's see. The heel tool works great. That said, I thought about rotating it, but the heel, true, and that's really the problem. But I didn't know maybe you didn't use the heel part. Seems like a simple enough part to fabricate if one wanted to lift. Yeah, I mean, it's really, I mean, it looks like just stamped steel. So it'd be really easy. Maybe, again, the more and more Royal Enfield becomes popular in America, the more and more aftermarket support will start hitting. And just like Harley Davidson, which is one of the reasons I love this brand so much, they're very simple. And it's more a true motorcycle enthusiasts are the ones buying the Royal Enfields. Like the true motorcycle. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that because there's a lot of rubs that are buying Harley Davidsons, but they keep Harley Davidson in busy or in business. See, are you performing your own maintenance? Yes. The only time I don't is when I want to teach something to somebody that I think that, for example, tire balancing. I have a bubble balancer, and particularly with off-road tires, it's never good enough. And that's one of the reasons why I took the bike up to the dealership to have them put them on to get a spin balance on it. Because, and again, when you got those big lugs on there, a lot of times you need more weight than what you think you would do. And in a bubble machine, it's just not good enough. Now, everything else, I do it myself. I will not put this is one thing I decided, and I actually talked to Royal Enfield about this, North America. I'm not going to put a valve adjustment video out simply because I don't trust you. I'm afraid, and I don't want to have somebody come back and say, "Oh, Man Ronin had told me to do this, and I did it, and I had catastrophic damage to my engine." And no, take it to your dealer or do it yourself on your own. I don't want to be responsible for you screwing up your stuff. Oil change is one thing. Chain maintenance is one thing. You get in there and you miss a line, or put something back the way that shouldn't be put back, or drop a screw down up in there. No, I'm not doing it. I decided against it. I was going to. That was one of my first videos I planned on doing. I decided against it. Glenn says, if you could get a classic upright seating position with a Meteor seat height, I would go for it. You can raise the seat on the Meteor. Oh, you want the lower seat height. Oh, yeah. Well, it's the same frame. There may be a way, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But they're literally the only difference in the frame that I could see. Now, this is not gospel. It's not written in stone. Don't yell at me if I'm wrong. But what I've seen comparing this two side by side, which we got a video about that coming out too eventually, because we did both the Classic 350 and the Meteor, and we're going to do a versus. I already did one, but we've got them with a sitting side by side. But the seat on the Classic has a little bracket underneath it that actually brings it up higher. And possibly, I don't know if it could be happening, but it seems to me, since it's the same frame, it'd take very little fabrication to put a Meteor style seat on that Classic. It just seems to be. I could be wrong, but next time you go to your local dealer, look at them side by side. You'll see exactly what I'm saying. It's about an inch or so higher. There's like a bracket under the seat. So pretty cool. Well, we got 29 people watching, and again, cheers to everybody. I just finished off the last of my wine here, and everybody still got some good wine or beer or whiskey in their pocket. I'm hoping so. Any other questions? We're coming up on an hour. We're going to keep going for a little while here. I do, and I do want some questions on the summer tour update as well too. And do you have a printed PDF version of the shop manual? In fact, if you're not for the Meteor, for the Himalayan, I'm getting a PDF. I have a PDF file for the Meteor, but I haven't put it on Patreon yet. I've got to do that. But in fact, I'm probably going to do it in the next couple of weeks. If you're a member of my Patreon page, you can download a PDF file, of the service manual for the Himalayan right now. I'm planning on doing it for the Meteor as well too. I do have a copy on my computer. I just need to put it up on the. Thank you. It reminded me to do that. I'll do it in the next couple of weeks. But I want to get back to the summer tour update too, to make sure that the guys that are new to the stream, because we got 29 watching, may drop on and off a little bit. But we're doing the trip to Appalachia here in 3 weeks. And then in August, we're doing the ride where it's going to be open to people to join us, called the August in Augusta, Kentucky. And it's going to be a small bike ride that people will be leaving from Newark, Ohio, and going down. It's about 6 hours down back roads, 500 cc's or less. And then in September, we're doing our Ronin Retreat, which is a Himalayan or an ADV style motorcycle trip exclusively. And that's going to be, we're going to go to a really cool, I call it a hillbilly resort, if you will. Be cabin staying, have lots of fires, lots of drinking. There's a bar right there on the premises, so it's pretty cool. You can bring your own as well too, but that doesn't matter. Let's see. Meeker says, I watched the video on the CF Moto and I'm going back to look at one in New Braunfels along with the Conte. Do you really like the CLX? It's a great motorcycle. There's no question about it. The seat is highly uncomfortable. It depends on what you want out of the motorcycle. They're really similar in price. The thing that sells me so much on Royal Enfield is the way that the company stands behind their product. You get 3 years on the Royal Enfield of warranty and 3 years roadside assistance. You do not on anything else. But what I will tell you is ride both. Test ride the CF Moto and test ride the Continental GT. If you're riding the CF Moto, make sure you ride the sport version because it's similar setup. It's not as aggressive as far as in a cafe-ish style. Plus, hey, you want to hear something funny? That same specimen cups on the Versus 1000. I looked at one. Are you freaking kidding me? In fact, one of the videos that I shot, the video I shot bringing it home, said, well, at least I know I'll pass my drug test again. That's just, dude, it's a plastic cup about like that. Make something better. But you can tell that CF Moto has ties to Kawasaki. And in fact, the engine that's in the CF Moto, that 700 CLX, and also pretty much all their 650s that they have, are knockoffs of that Ninja engine. I shouldn't say knockoff. They bought the rights to it. So it's not really a knockoff. They build it. And if you didn't know, that CF Moto builds all of, or almost all of KTM's engines under 900 cc's. The LabCorp and LabCorp. Amazing. Let's see, Frank Matthews said 3 years unlimited mileage. Yes, how do they do it? What a selling point. And it is unlimited mileage, unlimited. It's a great, because they know what their stuff is capable of doing. When Siddharth Lal took over the corporation, he's a motorcyclist. And unlike the president of Harley Davidson today, he actually knows how to ride motorcycles. And man, I shouldn't say that. Let me revert. Unlike other corporations that have business people run their company, the guy that runs Royal Enfield is a motorcyclist, and he wanted to bring the company to where, as a world-class leader. And one of the things you do is you tell people, hey, we're going to stand behind our product. And the best way to stand behind your product is to give it a good warranty. Blaine says his first service was $378. I don't know if that's all across the different dealerships, but I don't even know. I haven't had a bike serviced in so many years. I do it myself. I shouldn't say that. I haven't had a bike done by a shop in so many years that I really don't know what the cost is of it. But I don't know if that's high or low. You guys can tell me in the comments here. Yeah, first service on my Meteor is about $450. So he's saying his, and that's great. He's got a Honda logo with what it looks like, and he's riding a Meteor. Fantastic, brother. We won't hold it against you to ride a Honda. Just kidding. There's one motorcycle brand I love to pick on, and that's Honda, just because there's so many of them out there. And the fact that I don't have any right now. That's pretty much more than anything else. How do you say your name? Danavol. Great to meet you, brother. Thank you and welcome to the channel. Are you getting your parts from your dealer eBay? Yes. Both. Valve adjustment 115 of the 378. Yeah, but again, it's something that's important to do. that first one in particular, but what I've noticed, and I've got over 3,000 miles on the Meteor, and well over that on the Himalayan. And I periodically check things anyways, and it hasn't moved. So that makes me extremely happy. Now, and to be honest with you, I haven't had anything move. I haven't had the chains move. When I did my chain maintenance on the Himalayan, I purposely moved it so I could show you how to readjust it. But as far as anything else, like taking off the tank of the Himalayan, I'll be taking off the tank of the Meteor here pretty soon. We'll film that as well too. Some things like that. Yeah. So my dealer wanted 520. Then he said, "Rob, do it yourself easy," and he did. Well, there you go. And again, it is. That's one of the reasons these bikes, like Harley Davidson, are so freaking popular in my mind, because I can work on the stuff myself. So he said, I was deciding between a Rebel and a Meteor for my first bike. My dad got a Himalayan, so I decided, bro, you got it, man. And you know, you got the Rebel's a great motorcycle. I don't knock any bikes. I goof on a brand just because. But as long as you're riding, I don't care what you're riding. Again, it's better to be on two wheels than in a cage, and that's really the way that I look at it. I hope your dad loves his Himalayan, because I surely love mine. Keep receipts; they will honor warranty. There you go. I don't know, Blaine. You this is what Blaine says. I can't verify that because I don't really know. So it's one of those type of things that I can only trust what people tell me until I can't. But Blaine, I kind of trust. He's a good old boy, and he lives fairly close to me. Cheers, Blaine. Thanks for the information. And I'm guessing it's Danny y'all. If you wanted to talk a little bit down here in Nick area, you could say your name, Danny, y'all. He said, cheers. Because you could fit right in our neck of the woods, man. We'll just call you Danny, y'all. What's your name? Danny, y'all. I don't know if you guys can read that on the chat, but I must be too much wine. I find that extremely funny. Are you from India, Danny? I'm trying to guess with the last name. A form of Daniel. I don't know. In my hillbilly mind, I say Danny, y'all. But like I said, I took pictures and documented everything. Well, there you go. As long as you do that kind of stuff, they probably will, and realize that you are changing the oil and everything else. Pronounced Don, y'all. Don, y'all, how you doing? And where are y'all from, Don? How's that? Yeah, it's good to make sure you keep records of stuff. I keep too much junk. I try to frame the pictures so you can't see all the shit behind me. But there's stuff everywhere, especially camera equipment. Man. And I still got a pair of these. You don't see something cool? I brought this back from the old days of the channel. I haven't used these since, but I don't know if you guys remember this video where it's the sunglasses that have a camera in them. They actually work pretty daggone good. And I always tell people it'd be a good way to start YouTubing. Sunglasses with a camera in it. Let's see. Yeah, it was a fun video. I mean, it didn't get a lot of views because, I was just having fun with it. Somebody sent me something and said, I'll try it. Play it. Parent, well, there you go, are from Pakistan and Somalia. That's pretty cool. Welcome to the U.S. I'm sure you were born here, but your parents, welcome them. We appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm so glad that you're riding because, a lot of the younger people today aren't riding. And it really, I grew up on motorcycles. Like I mentioned before, I started riding when I was 5.5, 6 years old. It's just something that I've always done. I had a before that, and I hate to say before that, but I happened at the same time. I had a little go-kart because, I wasn't smart enough to keep it on two wheels. Did you stick your W15 in your neck of the woods? I always do, unless it's really hot. And a lot of times in my Harleys, I'll run a straight 50, believe it or not. Only for a few months, usually in July and August, I'll run a straight 50 if I'm riding a lot. Because I want that higher viscosity. Even though they say it's the same viscosity, it is not. It says 15 when it's cool, but normally what I'm doing is when it's really, really hot, I want that really high viscosity because engine wear is a killer on air-cooled engines, and particularly with heat. And even though they can take it a lot better than some other engines can, but 15 or sometimes I'll go to 2050. It depends on my mood and what I'm sticking with on the Royal Enfields, the 1550. That's what I'm using. I haven't changed. I don't know enough about their engines enough. I haven't really torn one completely apart to know what kind of wear I would get. I have tore plenty of Harleys apart. So brand, uh, you know, I like synthetic. I use Harley oil in my Royal Enfields or Motul, one of those two. I always say Sin 3 or the Motul. Those are the only two brands of oil I'm buying right now. There's a lot of other good brands out there, but those are the ones I get the best deal on. And it's all about the money for me, baby. I get a really good deal on Sin 3. Richard says, will you bond with your Royal Enfield without it? You exactly. And I mean, that's one of the things. It's a cultural motorcycle. And it really does attach to your soul, like a Harley Davidson. I know everybody says, well, I think that's one of the reasons why Harley gets so much hate around the rest of the world, and even in America here, is because they don't understand what it does. It gets into your soul. Royal Enfield does exactly the same thing, and maybe even, I would say, more so, about the same. But it does. It gets into your soul, and you bond with it, and you really have a good time with it, because it's something that you can work on yourself and bleed with it, and you know, because you're going to knock your knuckles all the time. I mean, I come out of, sometimes I come out of working on my bikes, and it looks like I was in a fight. I got scars and blood dripping everywhere because I'm knocking my knuckles everywhere. But I mean, you bond with it when you get something you're able to work on and get intimate with the motorcycle, and you know, you're working on it, you're sweating, and you're having like I was doing, you know, yesterday, just sweating and working on the bike and making sure everything's in order, and you know, it's hot as hell outside, and I'm in the shop and laying on the ground, and I'm doing this, or got it up on the lift, and and then you fire the thing up after you've had it apart, and it fires up, and you can run it down the road, and you go, thank you, Jesus. That is a religious experience, if nothing else, and that's why we bond with these motorcycles. If you have one of these motorcycles that's all covered in plastic, and you just get on it and you ride it, and when something goes wrong, you take it to the dealer, they put it on the computer. Next question. Omar, hey brother, welcome. Thank you for my videos. I really appreciate that. Brought a new Meteor, brought it home yesterday. Congratulations. He's in Italy. Well, you know what? We really appreciate you, Omar. We're really glad you're part of the channel here now. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell us what you're drinking. We're drinking a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon right now. Okay, Frank says 71 or 300. Let's see, brand 7100 or 300. I'm trying to guess what you're talking about. Here, let me re-describe that, because my brain's a little foggy right now. Blaine says tattoos. Oh my God, brand loyalty. And again, Blaine has a tattoo of the Royal Enfield Meteor Fireball on his arm. I've seen it the other day. It's awesome. Danielle says, yeah, I got into riding because I originally liked cars, but then did the MSF when I turned 19. And again, brother, the better having young riders. We really love seeing young riders. But I understand why a lot of people aren't getting into it. I had my first accident where a girl ran a stop sign and rear-ended me. Meteors have been in shop for a couple. Oh, brother, I'm so sorry to hear that. But yeah, Pagers suck, man. They are the worst. Motul. I like I said, what I'm running right now, my first oil change I put in, I ran the Motul, and let me see exactly what I bought, and I will tell you exactly what it is, because I don't remember off the top of my head. I know that sounds terrible, but it is what it is. Again, old man Ronin here. Let's see. I'm going to look, because I got it off of Amazon, and it was a good deal. Let's see. Motul. Well, what it says is 5100. That may not be synthetic. I don't know. It says synthetic. So yeah, 5100. According to the Amazon page. But right now, I got a couple cases of Sin 3, and I've been running Sin 3 more than anything else. But I wanted to make sure you knew, because I said in my first oil change on the Himalayan, I did the Motul, and I bought that. And I do like it. It's good stuff. It's got that pretty red color, just like a lot of synthetics do. 26 watching. Any other questions on our long-term trips that we're taking? Again, I want to invite each and every one of you, if you can make it to our part of Ohio, to go on the Ronin ride. We are riding in August, and we're going to be leaving from Newark, Ohio, riding down to riding down to, brain just went dead there, Augusta, Kentucky. And when we're in Augusta, Kentucky, we're going to spend the night. We're going to have a Ronin meetup first on Friday night on the 26th. And then the 27th, ride down to Augusta, spend the night if you want to. If you don't, come on home and go to the different sights and sounds. And the big attraction there is crossing the Ohio River on a ferry with your motorcycle. Tipsy Rider says, my wife and I are also new riders, and we just passed the MSF this month. A buddy of mine recommended I look at Royal Enfield while we were looking for our first motorcycle, and we found your videos. Thank you very much, and tell him thank you. Meteor in the garage now and riding to see the, and I see a second one very soon. Meeker says, did I see saddlebags on your Meteor? Yes, go look at the front thumbnail there. We decided to buy the long ride Racer SKs, and we have the Racer SKs, which means sidekick, and there'll be a video on my installation of them coming out on Wednesday. I pushed that to the front of the queue. Dan Spence says, your videos led me to the Meteor 350. I bought it 3 weeks ago. I'm 50 and it's my first bike and love it. Dan, I'm out of wine, but welcome to the channel and welcome to the world of motorcycling. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I am so glad that you said that. That makes me feel really good. We try to give only what we feel on our motorcycle. I'll tell you what I really love. I usually don't talk negative about anything, but I'll tell you what doesn't really make me happy. And I will say that. Tipsy says, is that a link, an affiliate link? I was planning to get those bags. No, it's not. I don't think. I did hear rumblings that if you're a member of Patreon, there may, and I can't say there's nothing for sure, but there may be a discount if you're a Patreon. But I don't get anything out of it. It's not an affiliate link. No, and to be honest with you, don't wait. Just go buy it. Just go buy it. You just tell them when you go there and say, "Hey, old man Ronin sent me." That's all I care. That's all I want you to say. Old man Ronin sent me. Because the stuff is so high quality, man. You're going to love it. Now, Tipsy, are you fairly good at doing things with your hands, mechanically inclined, I guess is what I'm going to try to say. Because that does make a difference, particularly if you're putting the sidekick on. Because you do have to drill holes through that beautiful, expensive bag. And one of them is a 3/4 inch hole. Yeah, a long time riding. Okay, perfect. So you have zero issue. Zero issue. Watch the video on Wednesday. You'll love it. All deep custom. Yeah, I used to build a lot of, I've built quite a few choppers and bobbers in my day, back in particularly in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Haven't done it in a while. I kind of started just restoring motorcycles in the late 90s and throughout. In fact, all the Harleys in my, all my Harleys in my shop right now or the garage are all basically restored or restorations. Miss Kitty, did I make it time to say goodnight? Not yet, Miss Kitty. We're still talking. So any questions you have there, hon, just give us a yell. Meeker says, saddlebags make the difference. I can now carry my bike cover to work. There you go. And it does make a difference. And I'll tell you, if you're getting it, get the tail bag as well, too. You can either hook it to your seat or you can, well, I have a rear luggage rack. But if you're riding to work, get the saddlebags. You can carry all your stuff in it and then get that tail bag on the back as well, too. They do have inserts. And if you're going to do stuff like that, and if you do happen to buy like a GV or whatever brand, what do you call it, luggage rack for the back of the bike, you're going to have different bolts. So it'll be described in my video that if you, like for our bike, we have the seat, and then we have the part of the Supernova edition, we have the sissy bar or the backrest. Well, and then you put the luggage rack on there, you're sticking out pretty far. So I had to end up ordering, because metric stuff is really hard to find here, believe it or not. I had to order 120 millimeter, it's 8M, 1.25 pitch, and 120 millimeter long and 110 millimeter long to to replace the ones that comes with the kit, because I have so much stuff hanging there. After I got it, it became easy. It was really simple. Let's see. Glenn says, I read the Bullet 500. One criticism I see about the Meteor 350 is some people say it's not keeping up traffic in mountain country. I've never had an issue. I mean, I don't say I live in mountain country, but I do live in the foothills of the Appalachians. And Iron Lady and I ride in up in it all the time. Run the bike through its rev range. If it's just like any other small CC engine. There are times when you need to downshift and bring that RPM back up. Doug, welcome to the channel. Doug, how many motorcycles do I have? I have 7 Harley Davidsons and 2 Royal Enfields at the moment. Frank says, motorcycles are like women's shoes. There you go. Blaine says, amen, Frank. Okay. But yeah, every one of the bikes I got, I don't have any new motorcycles per se. My Himalayan was used, and the Meteor 350 was the press bike for North America. So it's not like I've bought any new bikes over the last, new-ish, but all my Harleys are at least 10 years old. I mean, none of them are new. My oldest one is over 20 years old. So it is what it is. And like I said, I was able to buy them fairly inexpensive. Like I said, the last Harley I bought for $300. Now, albeit it's still on the lift. I've been having so much fun with these smaller bikes. I haven't had a chance to, not a chance, I just didn't want to work on it. I may just sell the thing. I may just say, hey guys, come and get it. I shouldn't have told you. I paid $4,000 for that bike. Which do you find you ride the most? Toss up between the Meteor and the Himalayan. I love both of them equally. If you watched my video 2 weeks ago where I said that there'll be 4 motorcycles I'll never sell: my Road King, my Softail Deluxe, the Himalayan, and the Meteor 350. They will be in my shop and garage forever. So, but as far as the one I ride the most, with fuel prices the way it is, man, if I'm searching, if Iron Lady and I are going out riding and we want to go for like go for a beer, get some lunch, or go for a nice ride, we take the Meteor. If we're gonna go for a winery trip or a brewery trip, then we take the Himalayan. My first service is $460. I don't know. I don't get my bike serviced. I do it myself. So I don't know if that's good, bad, or otherwise. I don't know I mean, it's good to know what they are. My recommendations is always learn how to do stuff yourself. Because unless you're like Doppy Dan, Tipsy Rider. Thank you, brother. We really appreciate it. Everybody, give everybody a round of applause to Tipsy Rider. He says, appreciate the info and conversation. Looking forward to seeing new videos and bag review. It's like I said, we're going to do the installation, and you're going to get a long distance review. David, man, thank you. Appreciate it. Love my stuff. Hooked on the Royal Enfield. Thank you. We really do appreciate these super chats and super stickers, guys. It really means so much. You have no idea. It's what keeps the channel going. What you guys have done tonight has actually been able to keep me riding even longer, because that pays for gasoline and it pays for oil, and we really do appreciate you. Let's see. Love your stuff. I'm hooked on Royal Enfield thanks to you. What do I do? Classic 350 or Himalayan for 300-mile trip? It's going to be which one is more comfortable for you? Have you test ridden both of them? The Classic is going to be well, man, that's a tough one, because they're both, I would say the Classic's going to be more friendly on a more evenly paved road. The Himalayan, but in case you're going on some gravel roads, yeah, the Himalayan's going to be the best bet, without question. Miss Kitty said, my dealer is $150 an hour. All maintenance is done at home or a friend's garage. You go, Kitty. And I'll tell you what, this lady here, she has a beautiful little Himalayan. And I'll tell you what, she's been a Patreon and a YouTube member for a long time now. We really do appreciate her. And guys, I'll tell you what, this woman can ride. She came off a Vespa doing all these. I think it was a Vespa. I knew it was a scooter. She came off of a scooter riding all over the place. And she had motorcycles before that. I do know that for a fact. But she's got a Hemi now, baby, and she's having a good time with it. Tipsy, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I know you got to run. Thank you so much. But as far as the bag review, we're going to be doing a bag review. It's going to be a long term, because I'm not going to do a review on it until I get back from Appalachia, down there in the mountains of West Virginia, North Carolina, and right off of the Trans-America Trail, right outside of the Mid-Atlantic BDR. Miss Kitty, over 1,000 miles in the first month. You go, girl. Congratulations. Everybody give Miss Kitty a round of applause for doing 1,000 miles in the first month. And a lot of guys don't do 1,000 miles in a year. I see some bikes that right now that guys have had for a year, they're selling them, they got 700 miles. I'm thinking like, man, you don't even know what the bike feels like. You don't even know how it's going to fit you till you get your first 1,000 miles. And Miss Kitty, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you noticed the bike's difference in behavior after that 1,000 miles? Just curious. But man, I'll tell you what, it's been a really good night for us, guys. We really do appreciate each and one of you. And like I said, if you have any questions on some of our what do you call it, the trip tours we got planned on it. Like the first one is going to be going to, like I said, down the mountains in West Virginia and Virginia and North Carolina. And then our second trip is going to be one that we're going to open it up for y'all. That less stalling issues and it's loosened up. Exactly. I mean, and again, how about the seat? Have you noticed any differences in the seat? Because I knew mine broke down pretty quick, and I did notice that it got so much so that I actually put a touring seat on mine because it got a little bit too soft. How far down? Just right on the border. Just right on the border, Frank. I'm gonna go down. It's gonna be a solo trip. I'm going by myself, and we're going to ride up, and we're going in there. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's real close to the West Virginia line, but we're going to go to Prices Right and everything. No kidding. We're going to go to Angel's Rest. It's on the Appalachian Trail. It's a really pretty area, and I haven't been there, and I want to go take some pictures off of it, and we're going to take the Meteor down there. But that's going to be the trip I'm doing by myself. The second trip is the August in Augusta, which is a 500cc and lower ride for motorcycles, and we're going to have our first moto meetup where we're going to meet at a brewery on August 26th in Newark, Ohio, or Granville, Ohio, and then the next day head to Augusta, Kentucky. And like I say, the cool thing about this is it's going to be a small bike ride, riding down there, crossing the river on a ferry, going to this historic little town that has the oldest winery in America, plus it's got a brewery and a distillery. There's some great bourbon down there, plus some really great restaurants. Have lunch down there if you want to stay the night. Again, it'll be on your own. But if you want to be part of this, email me at oldmanronin@gmail.com. Tell me if you want to be a part of it, and we will get you more information. Like I said, we'll be talking more about it in every video coming up. So you'll be seeing a little bit about it in each video coming up. In August, we're going to be doing some more Maxx Eyewear giveaways. And then to get back to our trips, in September, we're doing a Ronin retreat where it's going to be an ADV bike only. It's a really rough place. We're going to I call it a hillbilly resort. We'll be staying in some cabins. There's 5 different lakes to fish at if you want to, and it'll be a lot of fun doing that as well too. And just getting together and having a few beers and talking some crap and explaining some stories and just having a good time. And the fun part will be riding to it, and then riding during the day all the gravel roads that you guys see me ride at around this area, because it's fairly close, but it's really a rough road to get to. And it's in fact a lot of places. I recommend a side-by-side, a 4x4, or an ADV bike to get to it. That's really the only way cars can make it, but man, they have a difficult. The first time I went there, we were in our Jeep, and I was like, man, this is a rough road. It's perfect for the Himalayan. But then the final thing we're going to do is like I said, in that Ronin retreat in August, or not August, in September. Let's see where we at. We have something scheduled too for October. And the third week in October, we're going to be doing another ride. And I'm still placing it where I want to go with it. But it may be something like we're going to be doing. There's a couple areas around here we call the Ohio, the Trans-Ohio Trail. And we're going to be putting something together with that too. It'll be on the Trans-Ohio Trail. Well, guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this video today. If you have any more questions, this is the final few moments. We're going to give every opportunity to do a shout out for where you're from, and let me know if you have anything else you want to say. If nothing else, we're gonna call her quits for the evening. But I did want to give everybody the opportunity to close out. I do want to say a special thanks to Nathan and to Shade Tree Surgeon, to David, and also to Tipsy Rider there for the super chats, man. It means so much to the channel. It really, you have no idea. You have no idea how much it means, because it really keeps us riding. Well, I don't see anything else coming up. So I guess it's time for this. And y'all know what that means. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe. I know most of you guys already do because you're part of the channel, but you can always help us out with Patreon or becoming a YouTube member or giving us a super chat or a super sticker. It really means a lot. Or afterwards, down at the bottom, do a super thanks. Really enjoyed it, guys. Sorry we gotta go. Appreciate it. Frank, great video. Thanks. Happy 4th of July, everybody that's in America. We really do appreciate you. Until next time, guys, ride safe and keep her on 2 wheels, baby. Cheers.